When you think of New Zealand's role in the world in gaining women the right to vote, I always think that Christchurch is the home of the petition. It's the home of Kate Shepherd at the time, and she of course was a leader for the women's suffrage movement and a leader for the National Council of Women as well. So yeah, I think of Christchurch very much in that light, and very proud to be a woman mayor of the city at this time.
So what I think is amazing about the petition is that there were over 32,000 women at one point in time in our history that got together and did something that they felt was so important.
When it was presented to Parliament, there were over 30,000 signatures on the petition, which represented about a quarter of the adult female population at the time. So I thought that was really momentous.
There was a lot of change and things were quite fluid. It was people use the word new society, and so there was opportunity. There was this ethic that people should be equal, that we were a humanitarian place.
And when we talk about southern Dunedin, we're sort of meaning Caversham, South Dunedin, St Clair and St Kilda, so that sort of area of Dunedin, and over 1,300 names of women just from that area, which was sort of half of the adult female population.
Oh, we're so busy, we've never been busier, life has never been busier. And it's easy for us to get complacent and think that things were somehow simpler and slower and easier 100 years ago, 200 years ago. And I just think that's not actually the case.
Canvassers would have gone out with some sheets and they would have had different strategies for collecting them. So we can see from the petition that they did actually walk around door to door through different localities.
Today we can do that online, but back then they didn't. They did that on the street corners and by post and by horse and cart and whatever else, and that is what's incredible, is that they really were able to organise themselves.
So we can sort of see these sort of clumps of women who from aligning streets and suburbs, and you can sort of just get this image that someone was walking around the street to street and having these conversations with women at their doors.
If you look at elsewhere in the world and how it's so antagonistic, and you have your hunger strikers and so forth later on in time, and martyrs. And here it wasn't like that. It was a lot earlier, and there was this sense of almost revelry.
So for Māori women, we have all kinds of community issues and struggles going on. We have dealing with alcohol, trying to deal with trying to get political representation at all kinds of levels, at a community level, a very local level, as much as at a national level.
Having the right to vote is really important, and casting a vote is very important as well. You know, it's kind of use it or lose it kind of attitude here. And really, if you want to give a mandate to a particular direction for your city, for your country, then I think that you have an obligation to vote. But then you have an obligation to participate. And I think sometimes people feel that just the act of voting is sufficient, and it's not. Active participation in your city, in your country's civic affairs, that's what's important.